Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And this is the second time actually I've seen you all today, which is great. So sorry I'm a little bit late, just finished class a little bit later than I thought, then I had to get the video up to the right time. So today what we're going to look at is the second part in this interview that Jenn Soto did. And Jenn, of course, is Madeline Soto's mum. There's a lot of controversy because Madeline, of course, sadly was groomed, abused, and finally red-rummed by her stepfather, Stefan Stearns. And we all know he's definitely a baddie in this story. Terrible. You know, the more you hear about Stefan Stearns, the worse it gets, doesn't it? But there's a big controversy about Jenn, who was Madeline's biological mum, and she invited Stefan Stearns into their lives. She said in the first part of the video it was her that asked him to hook up. She didn't. At first she says she was extra vigilant, but it didn't seem to last very long. In the end, she was, didn't seem to mind them having snuggles together, watching films together. And the controversy, of course, is Jenn, implicit in the abuse and eventual red rum of murder, oh God, of Madeline? Or is she just some, real stooge in this whole horrible affair? And was he even drugging her? Because, she's on a lot of medications and a lot of times she loses her train of thought. She said that sometimes she sort of wakes up and she feels like she's a zombie, like in another world. Was Stefan Stearns drugging her? Because it seems apparent that he was drugging Madeline, because a lot of the photos that were on his phone, which is what caught him in the end, it was a sleeping or unconscious child that was on these photos. That's what it said on the police reports. Now, of course, we've done lots of videos on this already. I have got a stack of evidence that I'm still trying to go through, photos. Now the photos of the crime scene of the house where they lived. It's a very small house with a lot of people living in it. It reminds me a little bit of my house, where it's big in the sense it's on different levels. But, everyone's sort of on top of each other. It's not a big house width-ways. It's a house that goes up, the bedroom that they went up to was up, right up at the top. My house is a bit like that. But it's not a wide house, so it's each floor is not massive. And it seems sort of almost incredible to me that all this was going on and nobody had any idea, because on top of the fact that he was abusing Madeline, he was also spying on what they had. Two roommates, in this house, as well as Madeline, Stefan, and Jenn, and a dog and a cat. There were two roommates, one of which that occasionally had a child over to stay there. And Stefan was spying on at least one of these roommates under the bathroom door. So it was all going on in this house. It just seems anyway, we're not going to look at the picture of the house today, because today we're going to watch the second part of this video. But when I was looking at some of the photos, I haven't managed to get through them. There's about 600 altogether, and documents, and there's all sorts of things. I'm almost scared to go through it, because other YouTubers have mentioned that there's actually photos of Stefan's button mushroom from the photos that he had taken, and his freckle. I'm not really looking forward to seeing that. But the trouble is, you don't know what the photo is until you click on it. So, it doesn't say, oh, Stefan Stearns appendage. You have to just click on the photo and see what comes up. So, I won't get a chance to go through all the photos. So just bear in mind, when we do come to go through the photos, you never know what might pop up, literally. Anyway, in this video, what we're doing is we're doing part 2 of Jenn Soto's video interview that she did with the police. And this interview was done on the day, as this interview was being made, Stefan Stearns, that was the day he was being interviewed himself in a completely different type of interview room. You know, we saw that the interview room that Jenn was in was very comfortable. It seems more like a room for witnesses rather than suspects. You know, whereas the room that Stefan Stearns was interviewed in was a typical, you know, you could see that that was a room where people are being interrogated, not just questioned. Whereas this room that we'll see where Jenn was being questioned, it's definitely a different kettle of fish. So I do think that the police have tried to find things to see if Jenn is complicit in this, but haven't found anything. Anyway, she's not been arrested for anything. So, you know, I know a lot of people out there saying she's a negligent mother and she's this, that, and the other. But, you know, I do think you've got to be careful to remember how grooming works. It's not just the child that gets groomed, the whole family, friends. You know, these groomers, they're very, very clever. And so many people don't suspect anything, but we all have our views. You'll have your views. You're free to express your views, of course, and you may not agree with me. I'm sure you won't all agree with me, but that's my feeling on it. Jenn was groomed. She's and perhaps even drugged. So I don't even at this point in time want to criticize her for being negligent, because did she even know what was going on from day to day? You know, was she just in the, you know, was he drugging her? But anyway, until I find out all the details, then I'll make my final decision as to what my opinion is of her. But to me, she is a mother who's waking up every morning as we speak. We move on to other cases. For Jenn, there is no other case. It's her daughter who's murdered. Her daughter's not coming back. And not only that, she was killed by the person that Jenn sent her up to bed with that night. How is Jenn going to cope with that for the rest of her life? You know, with knowing that. You know, there'll be all sorts. The Chihuahua alert. Hey. So how will Jenn cope with that, you know, for the rest of her life? You're going to have to, you're going in the bathroom. So unfortunately, the Chihuahua's decided to come out because he knows I'm on a live. So the Chihuahua's decided to come out and have a chat. And my dog, of course, doesn't like that. So, yeah, how is Jenn going to cope with that for the rest of her life? That's never going to get any better. I wonder how she is now, all these months later, because these interviews were done immediately as Stefan has been arrested, which is in February now, or March maybe. Was it February, March? You know, so when this interview was done. So it'd be interesting, wouldn't it, see how she is now, what's going on now. Oh, okay, so I'm going to say hello to everyone, and then with no further ado, we're going to get on with the video. Hi, Mello. Hi, David. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, it'll be late for you. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Kyle. Certainly is. Hey. Hi, Tom. Hi, Lily Paulie. I know Tia's giving her opinion. Do you know, it's Chumba, yeah, Tia always likes to have a say, don't she? Yeah, you do. She always got to have the last word as well. Yeah, I don't know if they've given Jenn a lie detector. Just something, I think it was Kyle said about lie detectors. I wonder if, I mean, Stefan didn't need a lie detector, did he? Because all the photos were there on his phone. But I wonder if they have given Jenn a lie detector. Yeah, I wonder. Hi, Caroline. David, they're definitely doing it on purpose because Yappy's not been out until I start live. His name's Coco. His name's Coco, that little chihuahua. He's a cute little thing. He looks just like this one. You know, the one on that's on the emojis now, the members emojis. Shelley, you can hear him. He's a little shit. Sorry for the language, but he really is. But he's very cute. He's very cute. He looks just like this one, little white one. And he is cute, but he does bark a lot. He yaps constantly. Honestly, it really does. Coco. I wonder if I can kidnap him. I wonder if I can kidnap Coco and send him over to David. David wouldn't mind another chihuahua, would you? Not maybe a yappy one like him. So yeah, no, it's not David's dog. But actually I could probably put your pets on as emojis. Because of course, so just before I start, don't forget to send in the photos of your pets for the animals. Like, yeah, I will. I'll kidnap him, David, and I'll bring him over. Send him over. Right, just going to put my email up there. So don't forget to send me pictures of your animals or adopted animals or animals that come to visit you in your garden, because in the first week of October we're going to do a fun live with a quiz, just a little break from true crime. Every now and again you have to get away from it all, don't you? Because it gets to you, doesn't it, after a while. Anyway, I'm going to finish off this video of Jenn today. That'll do, Kyle. If they, take a picture of the cats. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I'm going to finish off this video of Jenn today, and then I might have a break for a couple of days on the Madeline Soto case, because it does start to get to you, and then we will be looking at the photos of the house. I may or I may not. I'll see how I feel after today, really. So let's have a look. Let's get on with the video. So we've got around about halfway through the video, more or less here. So yeah, now see this comfortable interview room. This really is an interview room. This tells you something, I think, because it's not a room like Stefan Stearns was taken into. Really, he should have known, shouldn't he? He was going to get arrested. He wasn't brought into a room like this to be comfortable. He was. This is a room for witnesses, to put people at their ease. When the police are trying to find out things, but not really suspecting somebody of something, in my opinion. And then, of course, as everybody commented on, the pot plant needs a bit of attention, doesn't it? Not really quite sure why it's even still there. I mean, it's not, I thought I was bad with plants. As I think I've told you before, I've got in Spain, we call it green fingers in English. In Spanish, they call it the green hand, if you're good with plants and things, gardening. I've got the black hand because all my plants always die. But God, they're even worse than me. Surely when the cleaner comes in to clean this room, she could have given the plant a little bit, or he could have given the plant a little bit of water. Just wondering what this magazine is as well. I don't know if any of you, I can't, don't think I can make it bigger, or I don't know how to. But if any of you know what is that magazine at the side? I've got a screenshot somewhere. I probably can make that bigger. I'm just wondering what the magazine is. Yeah, and these funny pictures, they're not very nice, are they? So I don't even know what the purpose of the pictures are, really, because one's just a trap going to nowhere. I wouldn't say they're very nice pictures. Anyway, Never mind. Maybe their budget doesn't stretch as far as good pictures. Maybe who was it said they had some Rolf Harris pictures? Was it Heather? Maybe Heather can send over her Rolf Harris paintings to cheer up this room. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, we'd got to 1 hour 15 minutes. So we're going to start from 1 hour 14 minutes. So this is exactly where we stopped. Let's see what you think. So don't forget to comment what you think, but in a respectful way, of course.
To where in your mind there's guilt. As you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe in I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. Just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
We know that now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
No.
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy, the police suspect that is suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance.
So yeah, don't forget some of it is redacted. Yeah, Heather, I was saying, look at the pictures in that. They could do with some better pictures. Maybe your Rolf Harris pictures. Sorry, it's just a joke. But yeah, so she's saying, I didn't think he was a piece of shit then, but I know he's a piece of shit now. Honestly, I think, you've got to be careful judging Jenn, because if you've never been groomed, you don't know how groomers work, how good they are at not only grooming the victim, but grooming everybody else around them. And you've only got to go on Google and things and see, people you think you would know. People are, I would have known. You don't know that you would have known. And especially if somebody was messing with your medication, and especially that you're not exactly the sharpest tack in the box at the best of times. Someone like Stefan Stearns, because it was funny, she said he wasn't that intelligent, but he's really intelligent. He's really intelligent at what he wants to be intelligent about. He didn't want to get a job and go and do anything that's too much effort, but he's intelligent as far as manipulating people's concerned. So he's been doing it to his parents for years.
And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
It's not fine.
I know every relationship is different, and I know everybody's family is different. I want to ask, but going back, has he expressed interest in, I would use the word weird. I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like. Different sexual pleasures, different sexual experiences, different kinks that involve things we weren't comfortable with.
The only thing he's ever expressed to me was like anal.
Okay.
He had an anal thing in my butts.
Okay.
But that was something I was never comfortable with doing. And I let him know that. Like that's not like something.
That's fine. You guys slept in the same bed together. Steve was a big portion of your life at one point. Steph was a big portion of your life at one point. And this is not me coming at you as a person or a bad person, because shit happens in the past. We can't change the past. As you expressed to you, never has you ever made these statements about make you feel different. Okay. When you guys slept in the same bed together, did you ever wake up and find them cuddling? Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you thought they should be?
They would snuggle. Yeah.
Okay.
But we all snuggle. I just didn't think that was that one.
So you guys are sleeping in the same bed, she's in the center, woken up and they're snuggling. They're under the same blanket, they're not under the same blanket.
No.
Which is like
She's got her own blanket. She's got her
snuggling
own.
for what? Now what is snuggling to you? Because to me, snuggling is spooning, big spoon, little spoon.
He would lay down like this, and she would be right here in the nut.
Okay.
Um.
How do you guys sleep? You guys sleep clothed, unclothed? I sleep.
Yeah, this snuggling thing, you know, for a 30-odd-year-old man to talk about, oh, snuggling, you know, she is definitely guilty of being absolutely stupid. But, you know, I think a lot of people that criticise her, maybe it's not easy being a mom. And also, you, as I say, you think you would see things. I miss things with my son, not like this, but you know, there's often things that go on that you just don't realize. You think you would know everything because you're the mother, but you literally do not. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes being a mother. Anyone who's out there who's a mother and says they're a perfect mother and they've never done anything wrong, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. And when Gray Hughes had that phone in, Gray Hughes Investigates, and the woman that phoned up, that had been abused similarly to Madeline, but luckily it didn't end in the way that Madeline's had. Her abuser was, you know, well known to the family, to both her parents. They thought he was great. He was a friend of her brother's. He used to babysit for her. They used to say, oh, aren't you brilliant with whatever. Stop it, Tia. You know, you cannot right, you're going in the bathroom. You cannot underestimate how clever these people are. And this particular woman who phoned up Grey Investigates, she was abused in front of all the family under a blanket while they were snuggling watching films. You know, it was going on while all her family were in the same room. So, you know, you cannot underestimate how clever groomers are. And I personally, I feel sorry for Jenn because she's got to wake up every morning for the rest of her life knowing that she sent her daughter off to be murdered.
Shirt, pants, pajamas,
Yes. I sleep in like my everyday clothes. Pajamas or baggy t-shirts and shorts. And Stefan would sleep with his t-shirt or boxers, sometimes with his pants on. But he didn't have pajamas.
Okay. So they would snuggle, sometimes him being in his boxers. He'd wake up and she'd be in the nook of his arm, essentially in a cuddling position. And you never found that weird. Okay. Again.
Oh, and you never found that weird? And she said no, and he's cuddling with her in his boxers. I mean, it does seem ludicrous, doesn't it? But the other thing, of course, don't forget that Stefan, he was having problems in the bedroom department. He had erectile dysfunction with her anyway. And he was having to take Viagra and this, that, and the other. So she probably, you know, because they weren't being sexual. She just probably wasn't even thinking. You know, listen, I feel that I would have not allowed that. I didn't have a girl, I had a boy. So I've never had that situation. You know, if I've only had one partner who has spent a lot of time in my house when my son was little. And they never slept together in the same bed, or we didn't all sleep together. You know, it just wasn't like that. You know, that never happened. But what is it with Jenn that she thinks that's acceptable? Now, you might get a bit of an idea when you see the house, because as I say, it is a funny house. It's like small, you know, some people do all sleep together in the same room. You know, for some people it's more common than others. For families, but of course he wasn't the biological father of Madeline, but they'd been together a long time, so she'd obviously react. But of course the worst thing is Madeline, at the end of the day, in the end, she was 13. You know, anyway, I mean, it is beyond belief, and you can tell that this detective is like, why didn't you find that strange? But she says no, she didn't find it strange. that Stefan was in his boxers in bed with Madeline. She just, I don't know, why didn't she?
You and I may find things different. Why? And I don't want you to look back on it because now you know you victimized her for a long time, right? Under your roof, with you home most likely, because you said you're always home. You just got this job, you're living off disability. I know the Kissimmee Police Department has showed you pictures. I know they've verbally explained to you some pictures. I can tell you that today, you're still downloading his Google Drives, you're still going through his social medias, his cloud-based servers, and everything else. And we can now piece back her victimization in your house under your care to 2020. I believe you've gone as far back as any. So when I ask, they woken up cuddling, did you find things suspicious? Did you have an open with? Did he talk to you? Has he made inappropriate statements? It's almost like cheating, right? Like you ever cheated on? Okay. Somebody can only cheat on somebody for so long until they fuck up, or until something comes out, or somebody says something, right? So we go back to 2020. We're looking at a minimum of 3.5 years. 3.5 years where I'm sure you guys are sexually active. So for 3.5 years under your care in your house, not only is he being sexually active with you, he had a sexual relationship.
Now, I'm sorry, I feel it's genuine. I don't feel that she's not genuine. I think she's genuinely, it's all coming to her now. And bear in mind that this was quite a long time ago. So imagine what she's, since then, she's remembered, thought about, what she's going through. She's probably not on as much medication now as she was then because he was probably double dosing it. She'll be sitting down thinking, oh, I remember this time this happened, I remember that time that happened, putting it all together. Anyway, that's, I know a lot of people think she's putting it on. Personally, I don't, but as I say, we've all got our views. But she must feel dirty. What she was doing then, that's what you'd feel when somebody came out. If somebody came out and said that to you, that he's been doing that while they've been, when they were sexually active. You just want to go and have a shower, wouldn't you? Get the bleach out, disinfectant. You would just feel horrible. How horrible that must feel. I just cannot imagine how that must feel. I'd be very surprised if Jenn hasn't had a nervous breakdown, to be honest, of some kind.
And I know it's an emotional thing, and I know it sucks to hear. But where I'm coming from is it seems like something that you can't hide forever. You guys live in a small space, close quarters, you sleep in the same bed. You guys all talk, you guys all share things. You're an observant person for the most part, I assume. Outside of taking medications and going to sleep, it seems very difficult. A lot of grown-ass.
I wouldn't say she's an observant person. I know he's just saying that as part of the interview, and he is good, this detective, but she's definitely not an observant person. No, not in a million years.
Adults can't hide an affair with somebody who doesn't live with them, let alone somebody who does live with them. So at a certain point, I do believe you became aware of what was going on.
No.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't change.
I know, but
I do believe that a reasonable person, I consider you a reasonable person, right? You think you're a reasonable person? Would be aware that under her roof, sexual relation. The videos, the text messages, the images, they're all documented forever. This has been an ongoing thing. And her age, I think she probably thought they were in a relationship. She probably thought they were in love because he her male attention, right? She just started liking boys, right? She just got a crush. Up until then, her crush.
Yeah, they've redacted this bit here, but yeah, this is it, and this is what I've been saying from the beginning. I think also groomers, they groom with love. They don't groom with aggression always. Stefan will have started off with little presents. Oh, you're my little girl. You're my little girlfriend. I can just imagine. Oh, and when Maddie was young, well, she was still young, of course, when she died. But you know what I mean. When she was maybe 8, 9, uh, little girls, they sort of fall in love with the father figures in their lives. You can get this sort of like almost like a dad complex. uh, you you can't, you have to acknowledge that this happens. I remember when I was young, I thought my dad was brilliant, and my mum, any problems they had, it was all my mum's fault as far as I was concerned. Obviously, as I got older, I started to realize that, hang on a minute, my dad wasn't the easiest person to live with. None of us are, sort of thing. That so it's like, you sort of, when you're a kid, you like have this same, perhaps with boys with the mums, or even with their dads, or you think one of your parents is the best thing since sliced bread, and maybe you don't think the other parent is. And Stefan was like a parent to Madeline, and all the presents he bought her and the fusses that he made of her. So he won't have forced himself. I don't believe that he'll have forced himself on her from the beginning. The groomers don't do that, do they? That's what you have to remember. What they do, they don't just suddenly turn into an ogre overnight. It's all with love. It's with kindness. It's with presence. It's little touches. You're my girlfriend now, and a little girl can be swept away with things like that. And then maybe what was happening as she was getting older, I think it's quite likely that then she'd start to realise, hang on a minute, this is not right. Or maybe she was pregnant. That we don't know the final circumstances that led to her demise, do we? We don't know if it's because she was pregnant, she wanted to keep the baby. Maybe she was saying to Stefan, I want it all to be out in the open. Or, maybe she turned Stefan. Hey, maybe she turned Stefan down. We don't know what was the final breaking point for Stefan, because we don't have all the facts yet. But what we do know is, he will have inveigled himself in with Maddie, and she will have almost had a crush on him. And he's right what he says, that up to now, probably her crush was Stefan. And maybe he started losing that control, and that's why he lost it.
At the same time, you guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you establish that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him essentially. Whether that's legal or not.
I had no idea.
So I truthfully believe, this is my belief, I'm not speaking for other detectives, not speaking for the sheriff's office, the state police department, or any other agency I've said. This is Kevin's belief. I believe that you became aware of the sexual relationship. I think at a certain point throughout this relationship, you became aware of it. And for whatever reason, your reasons, whether it was discussed that it would stop, whether it was discussed how it would go, that you feel some sense of guilt. A lot of the news statements you've given kind of, again, my opinion only, I don't speak for anybody else, whether it's in this room or out of this room, bother me. It seems like some of your emotion up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's because I'm being an asshole. I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud. But when you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere. I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was not sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere. And I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is. So it has to be fake. This is demise for the past, let's say, 5 years, right? But her going missing, her disappearance, if you have knowledge of how it happened, where it happened, and inclination, that emotion's not going to feel sincere because you're already aware of what happened. It's almost becomes a lie.
If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to everything. 4 years?
Minimum. That's just how that far back the cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was in. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because of that, he hadn't shown me anything so far. Like, everything seems fine. Like, he seemed like he treated her like
he treats you. In his mind. So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused. She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse. So he's in jail for that, but something caused what, right? We sort of murder, because we can call it murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We sort of murder on one day. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people, they break up with people. But usually these things cause people to snap. Now, what? You know what? Oh, I'm in trouble. Or I feel like I'm working now. We can go even worse. She's pregnant.
that's what questions last night led me to believe when we started talking about her.
I was told that her and her friend, and granted, I'm male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle. Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at all? That will.
Yeah, they're still going on to see about the pregnancy anyway. I don't want it now. Just let me refresh the rules of the chat. We don't talk about other YouTube channels on my channel, please. So that's just to avoid any problems with any other YouTube channels. It's not that I don't like that YouTube channel or I do like that one. If I mention a YouTube channel, that's fine. But because, you know, I don't want to get dragged into any YouTube, whether it's true, whether it isn't true. I don't know that it's true. I don't care if a YouTube channel said it. They said it was verified by a family member. I don't care. Until I see it actually verified officially, then I'll believe it. I don't know. This guy is not only this guy, but in all the interviews and audios that you hear about Jenn, there's a lot of talk about, well, you know, had she had a period? So let's not talk about that. If you can talk about on those other channels that are saying that, this, that, and the other. Until I hear it officially, it's not true as far as I'm concerned. Whether, you know, I could start to say, oh yeah, a family member said this or a family member said that. That's not official verification. So when it's verified, then it's true for me.
I have 2 underneath the kitchen, the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash? Their relationship hasn't changed? Okay. So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her, what do you think made him snap? Because here's the deal, you don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down? That's the only thing. What do you think? I don't want to believe he told her. Don't worry, he was just telling me he wants to kill her Sunday night and stuff her body out. Don't worry. That photo you guys showed me of her stuck in the car.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the case.
Honestly, I don't know how people got it. She's so in denial. She doesn't even want to think she's dead. Never mind that Stefan did it. It's just like, it's like, you know, white noise, white noise. No, she's not dead. She's not dead. She's been kidnapped. She's fine somewhere. We're going to get her back. That, to me, that's how it looks to me. It's just like, no, 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 no. This is not happening. I think Jenn is in like this dream state almost. That's how what I see when I look at it. Because don't forget, Madeline hadn't been found yet. So until Madeline's found, she just said, I won't believe it until I know she's dead. She just can't compute it. She can't compute it in her head. That's how it feels to me anyway.
He acted so normal that day. He was like, I'm so impressed. We got out of the house so early. Like she made great time. We had so much time to go to McDonald's, but she didn't want to. His story was so fun. Like every detail was so believable. He's just been lying this whole time. Like
What about that day in the car? You offered him a lawyer. Did you disclose anything to you there that made you feel like, oh fuck, you can't do it?
no. He kept acting like he didn't know what was happening. And I'm like, don't you see forensics? Don't you see they took your phone? Like, something's happening. Like, I think they're gonna pin this on you. And I'm like, in my head going, they have their own guy. Like, they're just honing in on the last person who saw her. But no, you guys knew more.
Never said, what did you do?
I've never asked him any of that. I still, even up until when we got here to the police station, I was convinced that he hadn't done anything to her at all.
Because of him or because of not wanting to believe she's deceased?
Because of him. Because I thought he was a good guy.
So up until this morning, you still think that it's not?
No.
I'm talking about the other day.
Up until
When we took it.
yes. I forgot to get the details.
So we're still going through his phone, his drive, his all socials. Date back to 2020. Based on the videos, it appears that was the start of the victimization. Okay, I'm going to find anything in his phone. Has there ever been a request for the two of you to participate in sexual activity? Regardless if you say no or yes.
No, he's never asked that.
Okay. If we find pictures like that, is that going to surprise you? So if I go to Google Drive, if I have a sex crimes detective or computer person look at his phone, and they tell me, Kevin, I found a picture engaged in sexual activity or borderline sexual activity, is that going to surprise you?
Yes, because it doesn't exist.
Okay. At any any time during the course of your relationship has he expressed that he's ever had sex with a child?
No. Not a child, but when he told me when he was in high school, he graduated high school like later, like older than 18.
Okay.
He dated somebody younger than 18. I think she was 15. But I don't know how old he was, 19, 20. But he was an older kid in high school.
So she's so stupid. She says, he said to her, has he ever dated a child or told you he dated a child? She goes, no, not a child, but he dated someone in high school and I think she was 15. She was a child. This is what I mean about Jenn. She's just like, 15 is a child. Even though he was only a couple of years older, it's still a child. But anyway, so, of course, he's been grilling her there and he's saying, has he ever asked the three of you to participate in sex? Have you ever done anything? Will we find any photos on the phone? If we do find any photos, will that surprise you? And she was adamant, yes, because they don't exist. Now, do you think if they would have found any photos like that, she wouldn't have been arrested by now? They haven't found anything with Jenn, unless they've still got more to go through and they haven't finished. I mean, we're quite a few months on now. We're in September. Jenn would have been arrested by now if they thought there was anything apart from, just stupidity on her part. She would definitely have been arrested. Surely something's not good. I don't think she'll ever be arrested. But believe me, I mean, if it turns out that there are things and she does get arrested and she has been involved, no one will be more condemning than me. It's just that where I am at this moment, we're bearing in mind all the interrogations, all the photos that the police had. They've got all these devices. They'll have been through everything. Jenn has not been arrested, so I think then the police must feel she's not involved as well.
He graduated late, but he had a really young girlfriend. Her name was Kendall. And I thought that was weird. I was like, that's a little too young. He goes, no, it's fine. We were in high school. Everything was normal. Her parents loved me. Blah, 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 blah. But that's the only one.
Have you ever gone to his car? If you had knowing Stefan, knowing where he lives, knowing where he goes, how he does his life, give me your top 5. You haven't thought about it. If you haven't thought about it, that's another weird thing I got. It's Monday. Right? We told you on Wednesday we think he did it.
Yeah.
So from Wednesday till today, it's about 48 hours. Give me your top 5 places you think are possibilities based on knowing him, based on knowing his path of travel. Where do you think? It doesn't have to be based on evidence, just in your gut. Give me your top 5 places where you think he.
Oh, baby.
In this area.
Doesn't have to be this area.
No, I know.
Where you want.
I'm saying in this area, I have no idea. Orlando, Kissimmee, no idea where he could have taken her. But his trip to Northport is weird as fuck. I feel like in Northport, he knows more people. He has more friends. There could be a place and somewhere there he could have stashed her. You guys said he went into a storage unit. That would be another place to look. But there's plenty of woods around his house. Around that exit is kind of secluded. Like,
when you say his house, you mean his parents' house?
His parents' house, yeah.
You've been there. You've seen the property.
Yeah, I've been there before.
So they have the land? Or is it in like a neighborhood?
So it's not a neighborhood because they don't have HOA. You just buy the plot of land and build it. They don't have many neighbors. Or last I saw, I think there was a neighbor building right next door, but I don't know if they're done yet. I just feel like he had more. There would have been more spots in Northport for her to be dumped. you guys have told me he went to St. Cloud, he went to 192. Could you guys tell where he turned on any of these roads? It just that he was on the main road. I didn't think he ever even knew where St. Cloud was because we've never driven down that way ever.
You live in Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, I know, but to me, he's never had a reason to ever drive down to St. Cloud, ever. There's no store or anything he goes to down there. Everything is in Kissimmee or Orlando by the mall.
Florida Mall?
Yeah,
Florida Mall?
yeah, by Florida. I sent the last detective 3 spots. I could have recalled him telling me he wanted to visit. Monday, when he left the house in the afternoon and got the flat tire, he had mentioned a few of those shops, so I sent them over to you guys. We've never gone to the only wooded area that we've ever gone together would be Shingle Creek Regional Park, Pioneer Villages. That whole trail there, we had scooters, and he had an electric skateboard kind of thing. We would all cruise the creek, explore. We've taken a canoe up that creek before. Then the Kissimmee Trail. There's a trail that runs right behind my house. Starts right behind my house and goes all the way to that bridge on Giant Parkway that says Kissimmee on it. That whole trail, we've done that as well. That's the only places I can think that he may have gone because that's where I know I've gone with him before. But anywhere else, I have no idea.
So our ERT teams hold emergency response teams, just a group of people who search areas. Doesn't have to be wooded, can't be wooded, can be swampy, day and out, 3 days, every other weekend. They will eventually, there's today, there's tomorrow, there's 2026. Okay. I don't think you want that to take too long. Right? I'm sure you'd like to have a funeral. I'm sure you'd like to have some kind of memorial service. The last thing you want is for us to call you mid-year and say, hey, we found remains. We don't know. Okay. That may not be something you thought about just now, but I can tell you, being someone who investigates homicide, that is something.
To me, Jen, she just doesn't want to believe it. And when he sort of says to her about the that it may be taking her to see remains and stuff, she's just in total denial. She's in total denial. She's like she's wishing she wasn't there. It's like she's in this dream world. The medication, of course, won't have helped with that, and probably extra medication he might have been slipping her. I know this feeling when something's happening that you just don't want to believe that it's true. You almost cannot register it. You can't compute it. And then add to that the medication that she's on. I think you've got to give her a little bit of a break in my eyes anyway. I think, a lot of people that are, saying bad things about her, it's like, well, some of them, it must be murder being perfect. It must be murder being perfect and never having done anything wrong or never missed signs of things. Some of the people talking on the YouTubes and everything down on Jen, they never had children. They don't even know what it's like. So how would they know how they would react or wouldn't react or what they would do or what they wouldn't do? Nobody knows until you've been groomed. Until you've been groomed yourself, until it happens to you. You really don't know. In fact, not only in this situation, any situation, it's so easy from the outside to say, oh, well, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have think. Until you walk in someone's shoes, you don't really know what you would have done or what you wouldn't have done. And everybody's done things they shouldn't have done. And well, if you haven't, you must be some sort of saint, and great for you. But Jenn has got to live with it. Jenn doesn't need to go to prison. She's going to be in a prison for the rest of her life, whatever, because she's got to live with the fact she didn't see what was going on. She sent her daughter, her only daughter, up to sleep with a man who'd been abusing her and murdering her. That's what Jenn's got to live with forever.
And everybody has to come think about that. If you can think of anything that would assist us in making that happen today versus 2 years from now, regardless of why you know or how you know, you need it.
No, I know. If I knew anything, I would tell you right now. I promise. I want her back so bad. I wanted to go outside to the funeral.
What is your communication been like with his father since this?
I've limited contact over the last 2 days because I know too much and I don't want to tell them.
You don't want to tell them what he told you, or you don't want to tell them what you know.
No, I don't want to tell them what you guys have told me. I don't want to share it. It's so difficult because I've known them for just as long as I've known them, but they feel like absolute shit right now. I know that they kind of got into a fight because Chris was, are you sure we know our son? Are you sure we know our son? I don't think we know him at all. The mom was defending him, but now with everything, with the evidence on the phone coming out, they know. They know he was a piece of shit.
We talked to his dad. His dad knows as much as you know. He knows his son's a rapist. He knows his son's a murderer. He's talked to us. He's been very open with wanting to help in any way he can. Whether that's technological, whether that's verbal.
Yeah, he even had, I was with him when he turned in his knife to you guys. He remembered he had a knife on him and gave it to you guys. I thought that was...
Have you talked to Chris about stepping even away?
Yeah. When you guys showed me the photos.
So we showed you photos of Stephen raping.
No.
First all you had was to ask his father if he should be aware.
No. I saw a picture. I didn't see the rape. I didn't know she was getting raped until yesterday. I saw the picture of the oral sex happening. And I knew that was true, right? That's evidence. That's for real. That's fucking happening. But I keep thinking, they're going... I don't know why I can't tell you why my brain kept thinking, no, he didn't kill her. Not that he didn't kill her, but she's still missing. She's still out there. She was taken. Yes, he's done this to her, and that's not okay. But I swore she was still, I felt in my body she was still alive. She was still out there. I told Chris to get him a lawyer because I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person. But you weren't. You're not.
I showed you a picture. The picture you saw, she was giving a blowjob to a grown-ass man. And you You told his dad to get him a lawyer. Missing, right? Now you, but then you just thought she was missing. And we were showing you our investigative being raped. The blowjob is rape. Not consensual, whether she wants to do it or not. That is not consensual. And you prioritized him again. You prioritized him by offering him or telling his dad to get him a lawyer. Not what the fuck did you do? Not, hey, we need to figure out what happened. No, let's protect Stefan.
I wasn't shocked.
No, that's not shock. That is your natural instinct to protect Stefan. Okay? And if that's naturally how you react, that's fine. But that goes into what I've been telling you this whole conversation is I don't believe a lot of the things you're saying, and I don't believe a lot of the things you say you weren't aware of. And that is because you've now shown me twice that your first reaction, no matter what you were told or shown, missing or seizing a cell phone, or showing you pictures of her giving him a blowjob, your first reaction is to protect Stefan. So now, ordered by Stefan, you're aware of this, you were shown pictures of this, you were shown pictures of her body in his car with a seatbelt on, right? We have played it out for you. Now you're in a stage where he's in jail, you know she's passed away, and now you can feel emotion, right? Until that point, when you were shown that she was deceased, your continued first reaction is to protect this guy. You just said, I only saw a picture of him, whatever your verbiage was, I say blowjob, of his penis in her mouth, and your first reaction was, fuck. Oh my, victimized? No. She's being abused? No. It's Stefan needs a lawyer. Who the fuck cares if we think he killed her?
I don't know why I said that.
But that's the problem. You don't know why. So the reaction in your mind is you're continuously protecting this guy. So why do I sit here and believe that you don't? Because right now you know Stefan killed her. You know Stefan's been raping her. You know without her body, can he be charged with murder?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you don't know what we can do. Do I think we can charge him with murder? It's not up to me. Should he be charged with murder? Yes. Does your role in her life need this to happen? I'll be honest. Yes. Since she was a child, since her victimization started, it occurred under your roof, and you acted like it didn't exist. And knowing the victimization, knowing how ongoing it is, knowing that you saw a picture of it, not just us telling you, not me and him saying, hey, listen, you need a bad relationship. They showed you a fucking picture of it, and you still protected him. So how am I supposed to not think that the thought process in your mind is until she's found, Stefan can't be charged with murder? Because we both now know that you don't want him to be charged with murder because you want him to have a lawyer.
No, I don't. That was then.
Can't be charged with murder.
That was then. Everything that you guys have shown me since then and have shown me that he's
So he had to show you a
alive.
picture of her dead in the car for you to finally not take his side? You know? Did you not see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here.
No,
But it makes absolutely no sense that you would his Stefan. Where does your mind go? Stefan. There should have been no doubt in your mind when they showed you that picture of what he was doing to you, that you had any care in the world other than I want that motherfucker to die. Whether you believe in the death penalty or not, he's doing protecting her. So now we're talking about her disappearance and where her body is. Why do I believe that you're still not protecting him? Because you say so? Because you can't explain why you protect him. You can't explain what is inside of you that makes you protect Stefan. And you may never be able to explain it. But eventually we're going to have to figure it out because you haven't convinced me that you're still not protecting Stefan. I got all these people out here searching. I haven't seen my own kid in days because I'm looking. I honestly believe that I can't go home and see my kid is because you're protecting. I can't. You're people sitting in the woods just waiting for me to tell them where to go. But I can't because I think you're in trouble.
I don't care about him. I want him to go to jail. I want the worst thing possible to happen to him in jail. I know what happens to predators in jail. Like, I'm ready for that. Like, please. I don't give a fuck about him. I'm not protecting him.
But you knew he was a predator when you showed us showing the picture. And then you text his dad that he needs a lawyer. You hope that he invoked was the words I was told.
What?
You hope that he didn't talk to us. He needs a lawyer.
No.
All over a picture. You didn't care. You didn't care then. Oh, whether sex is important. That wasn't anything close.
I knew what I saw was
He was a
terrible.
predator right then and there. That's the day you found out he was a predator.
Yeah.
Yes. And after you found out he was a predator, did you not say he needed a lawyer? So why today, Friday at almost 3 o'clock, 5 days into the disappearance, 2 days since you probably found out, or 1 day since you found out she was murdered, do I believe you that you're not telling me where he went, or that he didn't disclose to you where she was, or what caused this to happen? Is listen, I know you know I've been doing whatever, or listen, this fucking happened. How do I believe that that didn't happen when everything you've shown me is protect Stephanie? Now, once it gets shown, priority in this conversation, in this investigation, you're coming here looking for her. You reported her missing. Trouble for not doing that. But outside of you reporting her missing, and I may be wrong, I haven't been involved in all aspects of it, but you have not shown me one bit that you prioritize her over him. And that sucks. Not because we're working our asses off for your family, not because we have people out there sweating their asses off for your family, but because
Yeah, he's good, this guy. He's pressing her, and he should press her. Of course he should. They've got to try and find out, especially in these early stages, if there is anything more to know. But, you know, Jenn, she's just like looking at him like vacant. She doesn't know anything. I'll tell you what, if she did know anything, this guy, he's doing the right thing. He's interrogating her, as I say, like he should. But if something would have come out, if he would have got anywhere, that's his job. He's like being the bad cop, isn't he? He's saying these things to her, but she's not, you know, coming up with anything. Do you really think she's so clever, Jenn? So clever that she could outwit an interrogator like this guy? She can't outwit him. She's just sat there. She's just like, she's almost sat there like, duh, what are you talking about? To me, anyway, that's how it comes over to me. And I think that must have been how it came over to the police, because although this guy is a very good interrogator, nothing came of it. No arrests. The police have said they're not arresting Jenn at the moment, so they've not found anything. Why can't people see that? It's strange, isn't it? You know, people just like to jump on Jenn, but there's no, without any evidence. Very weird.
feel like all I care about is your care is to make sure Stephanie doesn't get held fucking accountable.
I don't care
Anymore. Because we're being assholes, because I'm not being nice.
No.
But up until Thursday, it was okay that she gave me a blowjob. No big deal. Get a lawyer.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't okay. I was honestly, I saw that and I was in shock. And I don't know why my first reaction was to tell him to get a lawyer, but I saw that and I was in shock and I was just like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe.
It's easy to believe it now. We showed you pictures of it. You can't deny it anymore. The sex is okay. The murder's not. At least that makes sense.
Okay.
I want to know what it is. And not because I think you're a bad parent, not because I think you're a bad parent. Dead or alive, she's missing. Her body is out there. Her body needs to be recovered so she can have a proper burial, a proper funeral. She needs to be laid to rest. Your family needs to be able to mourn her, and we need that information. That is life. That is not life with the law. That's not life with the sheriff's office. That is common decency. That is what she deserves. That is what you deserve. That is what your family deserves. But the longer that happens, the longer it takes us to find her, the less likely that's going to be for you guys. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I truly am. But deep down, you haven't shown me that I am. Prioritize her over Stephen. Think of places he would have dumped her body. Think of places he went, things you talked about, things you discussed, whether it's this week know more about where he goes, what he's doing, or what he would do than you want to realize. That's natural, not because I'm telling you, but because that's natural. I have best friends. I know more about them than I think I know about them. I just need to sit down and think about it. So I need you to sit down and think about it. Whether you need a minute or not in this room, whether you want to do this in this room, we need to leave here with an idea of where we can go look for. That is one thing we can agree on.
I sent you a list of the stores that he may have stopped at and didn't stop at. The only outdoorsy places I can think of that we've ever gone to that he would know about would be Shingle Creek or Kissimmee Trail. I don't know if he knows where Lake Toho is, but that could be another option.
Because you think it's a wooded area, because it's a place you guys have talked about together.
Because it's a wooded area with a lake with gators. Like, we haven't discussed anything. This topic, I never asked him if he direct. I never thought he could have. I always assumed the best in him. I didn't ask him directly. I didn't even suspect that until you guys showed me that picture upstairs. I'm just thinking of, if I name places, it's going to be wooded areas that I can think of, but he hasn't told me anything. Like, he has not told me, or we haven't discussed.
So him going to 192 that day, all you know is that he went to 192.
He said he wanted to visit House Card Rules. That was one of the, he named 3 stores, and that's one store I can remember him listing on that list.
House Card Rules?
Yeah, I don't know my phone.
Look at your phone a little bit. House Card Rules. What kind of store is that?
I don't know if that's like a video game or card game or board top game store.
That's on 192.
Close to one. I think close to 182 somewhere.
And he said he wanted to go to 3 stores.
Yeah. But he did tell me that I just don't remember which one.
Are there woods in that area? Are you familiar with 192?
Not what these stores are.
Other than you came up with wooded areas that you know of.
Yeah.
You came up with wooded areas that you think he could talk about.
Because I've been there with him, yeah.
I need to know the wooded areas where he travels. Right? You're saying we've been there, so she could be there. So that tells me she's not there. It tells me it's a waste of the search. Because when I put 90 plus people there, that's all day. Right? We got to coordinate that. We got to put them there. So we need fruitful searches.
Yeah.
So I need likely places that you think, and I need places you think based on the conversations with him, not because you can picture in your mind that there's streets there.
There's no conversation I can think of. Where he's maybe interested in being anywhere near woods or it being along his way.
You said you got a flat tire. Tell me about the flat tire you got.
So he said he got a flat tire. I'm not sure when he got a flat tire, but he said he got a flat tire and then came directly home and got home around 2:30. So flat tire, he said he was driving down 182 and just popped and shredded and fell apart. And he pulled over into a plaza and changed the tire for the first time in a very long time and said he hurt himself doing it. The frame of the car, something came down on his finger.
All his lies, I don't care. What I want to know what you questioned about. Why was he there? What was he doing? There's no way you're the most trusting woman in the world to just don't ask clarifying questions. I know no relationship I've ever been in is that trusting. He just tells you he's going at 3 in the morning, getting a fucking Wawa, you're like, I don't got that. Same thing with this. It's like, oh, yeah, I got a flat tire. What's here? Why is he in these places? Do you not question him? Why were you at 192? Why did you dip out at 3 in the morning in my car?
I didn't know he
And
did
this
that.
is 2 times he went to 192. He went to 192 the day she disappeared, right? He was roaming, looking for her south of where she went missing, because supposedly she went missing. 192 is south of where that is.
And I
Not very likely that that's the route she went on foot or abducted, but him driving around and somehow they will locate her.
And he did tell, I did question that. I was like, when I asked him where he's searching, he said 182. I said, why? That's not where she would be. And he didn't give me a clear answer, and I don't know why I didn't push it. I just thought he was being stupid and oblivious, because I don't see him as the smartest man. Like, I don't. I let him do what he does, but I don't trust him.
She makes me laugh when she says, "Oh, he doesn't seem to me like the smartest man." Well, you know, he's a lot smarter than her. That's for sure. A lot smarter than Jenn. I think that's when you think about hearing Stefan talking. You know, that whiny voice, and and I went there, and I did, and he comes over as being stupid, doesn't he? But inside he's always thinking, calculating what he's going to do next. We know what he did at school, what he put in the drinks of the women at school and stuff, and he's horrible. He's a horrible person. Now, unfortunately, Jenn got involved with him, and he would have picked Jenn deliberately, because Jenn, he knew she had mental health issues. He knew she was bipolar. She was on medication. She had a little girl. Jenn won't be the first one probably that he's tried to groom and what have you. Jenn was the one that fell for it, wasn't she? There's Jenn with a codependency, with a, total, she fell for it, unfortunately. And, it was Jenn this time, but it could be anyone. Like Caroline is saying there in the chat, someone who's been through it. People who haven't been through it, they just don't understand. How many times do you hear things? Oh, I never have thought like them. They seem like a really nice person. And, why do people feel that? They would have known. No, all these people being so adamant. The only other YouTuber that I know who isn't anti Jenn is Gray Hughes Investigates. Why are all the others like, oh, Jenn this, Jenn that, whipping up? The thing is, if you've not walked in Jenn's shoes, you don't know. You can't, just like, we can't walk in each other's shoes. I say I've done things that I'm not proud of. When I look back over my life, I haven't been perfect. But all these people that are slagging off Jenn, are you saying you're perfect? You've never done anything, or never been conned by anybody, or never, Jenn, I will say it until the police tell me any different. Jenn did not feel that she was doing anything. We can think she's stupid. Maybe she should have seen it, but she didn't. And but she didn't do anything criminal, so she's not going to get arrested until the police have something to arrest her for. They're not going to arrest her because YouTube sets up a petition, or any of that crap. Just ridiculous. I just don't see, sensible people. I just don't see why they can't see it. If she'd done something, she might be arrested tomorrow, and then I'll have to eat my words then. But as far as I'm concerned, up to now, there's nothing to arrest her for.
a lot of his word judgment. I'm not sure, but I just don't trust that he makes the smartest decisions sometimes. Like, he likes to act like the smartest man in the room, but I don't think he is.
What he does. Right?
I'm sorry.
You said, I let him do what he does.
Yeah.
So,
If he wants to just get up and go to the store, I'll ask where you're going, but I won't stop him. Just let him go on his way. I'll let him do what he wants to do.
what do you think happened? How they can help? You know she's deceased. We showed you pictures. She's deceased. We know that she's probably deceased Sunday or Monday. So we want to see her Monday morning. We're not going to believe you.
I know you showed me pictures, but
For the
like,
purpose of this conversation, I need you to believe it. I need you to figure it out. I need you to tell me what you think happened to her.
I think he killed her that night.
How?
I don't know.
mentioned drug her, you mentioned other things. Explain your reasoning behind those assumptions and we'll move forward day by day.
So he had access to benzos and I think Lunesta.
What are those? I'm not familiar with that.
Benzodiazepines are anxiety medications which relax you and can make you sleepy.
Okay.
And Lunesta, I think, is a sleeping medication, like for insomnia. So I don't know if it's possible he gave her something and she was drugged. In those photos that you showed me where you're saying she's dead, maybe she was drugged. But if she is dead and it was done upstairs, I can just only imagine that he choked her. I don't know how else you would kill someone and not leave a mess.
How do you think he got her out?
I have no idea because roommates come in and out of the house at any given point in the morning and we don't know their schedules. They can come in at any time. You guys showed me a picture, I think, of him or her in the car at 7:30 in the morning. My roommate left the house. She's the one who leaves the earliest. She left at 7:45. So like, what if he had waited a little longer? She would have caught him with carrying a body out of the house. How did he do that without being caught or seen? That's what I don't understand because like, did you guys check and see if any of my neighbors have ring cameras? Nothing.
I don't know what data we've gotten from them, but at this point, we know what you think happened. I don't need you to ask us what we found.
Okay.
What we found has happened. I need you to come up with your words in your mind. What do you think happened that night into Monday? Because we do not know. I know if we were Sunday or Monday. All we know is that when he went to bed, they went to bed together, and she's no longer here. So I need to know what you think happened to her, how he got her out of the house, where he went, how he got her in the car, what is your thought of what happened?
I think she was killed Sunday night into Monday morning. I think they carried her out. I don't know how he didn't get caught by any of my roommates or no one heard. They're saying he drove all around town. I'm sure where he was from.
And then him coming home and leaving, what do you think? Knowing that he killed her.
That's suspicious as
You're
fuck.
right. It is suspicious as fuck, but you're writing a book. What are you writing? Let's say this is a fiction novel, right? You're now aware that he killed her, so now you can piece together a story of what happened, right? You don't know the story because you're not him. You tell me he hasn't told you. So it's not real. So you were telling me what you think.
Yeah.
Right? You know the killer. You know he drove out of there Monday morning. You know he discarded her backpack in the trash dumpster. You know he discarded her laptop and one shoe. Right? So all her property was discarded. It looked like she's gone. And he doesn't have evidence with her. They leave. You've been told that they drove around Orange County, Osceola County, wherever it was. Piece that together throughout the week. Right? He's told you where, at least his version of where he was and what he was doing. Right? But then you have all these suspicious times when he's left, come back, he's gone here, gone there. So what do you think he was doing on all these suspicious times? He's roaming 192. What do you think? Knowing what you know now we can play. You know she's dead. You know that you're giving information. What do you think? Knowing what you know, he was doing at 192. He was doing here. He was doing here. He was doing in Northport. What do you think?
So him leaving early in the morning and driving around aimlessly somewhere. I feel like he stashed the body at that time. When he came back and then left again. See, it's daytime. Like, how could you move a body or move something in daytime and not be seen? but like, I feel like he went back to check, to make sure he did a job, or to move the body again. I don't know. But him leaving the house multiple times without his cell phone is sketchy as fuck. It's so suspicious.
Which is an intentional act, it's not accidental, so that can play into what we think happened.
Do you think phone being on the dresser?
It was intentional. Her cell records and her cell data from her cell phone show this is not common for her to leave her phone at home. It's common for her to go to school with her. No teenager leaves their phone at home. It's what they're attached to it.
She's left her phone home multiple
Her
times.
cell data shows that normally it goes with her, so that's intentional. You know it's intentional because he left his too. Right? Whether it's an accident last Friday, this Monday, it's not an accident. So you think that he dumped her when he was driving around? You think that when he left, he went to check her body? Okay.
Why would you go back down to 182 without your cell phone?
I don't disagree. If he goes out to 192, you think he may have checked where he dropped her or dumped her? He comes home, tells you he's roaming around aimlessly. Right? So that's twice on 192 in one day. So he went to look at the house of cards bullshit or whatever it is, and then he went to do the roaming to look for her on this random highway that he never goes to. Okay? Going for the next day, think of the suspicious things he's done. Tell me what you think he's doing.
Him grabbing my phone and trying to log into his emails, that seems kind of suspicious. What was he trying to see? What was he trying to do? The thing is, when he had my cell phone, now that I think back to it, he had something wrapped around it, so the phone was under a blanket, and he was like this. So I tried looking at the screen at one point, and I could see an email. But I
And
was
that was the cell phone you took me today. You gave us today.
yeah. Can you guys tell me if this is true? Because I recall a family member telling me something, like my sister. Was the last thing searched on it Amber Alert?
Her cell phone has an Amber Alert search system, but I looked through her cell phone last night, and I do believe that she may have been clicking on links for Amber Alerts that came through. I don't think she was actually searching them. They could have just clicked on it.
I wasn't sure if that was him Googling on her phone about Amber Alerts or if that was her.
That we will never know. It's not obviously cooperating.
Can you like, can you guys explain what happened yesterday?
For that, I need you to continue covering with.
Where are we at?
Suspicious possession of your phone.
Of the phone, him disappearing multiple times, him disappearing to Northport. What the hell was he? That is suspicious. I mean, now that I know that that's where he went, that is suspicious as all fuck. Why did he go to a storage unit facility? What was he grabbing? What was he trying to dispose of? Or what was he trying to hide in the that to me is suspicious.
Do you put more weight on that than 192?
192 would be something happened in Northport. There'd be no reason he would
Do you understand what I was asking with that phrase? Putting weight on it? Like, do you feel like it's more suspicious what he was doing in Northport versus 192?
I don't know which one is more suspicious to me. They both 192 seems to me like the easiest place he could have dumped her or like figured out where to put her. Unless she was in my trunk the whole time and he went to Northport.
The trunk of your car?
Yeah.
Didn't you drive your car at some point? You guys sit in your car at some point?
I did. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would probably saw something, but I didn't. I'm just trying to think, like, did he stash a body in Northport? I don't think so. He's probably hiding something or destroying something. So I guess 192 would probably be the most important right now.
Being in the truck is oddly specific.
The only reason I say that is because from what you guys have told me, he went directly from the hotel to Northport. I don't think he made any stops anywhere in Kissimmee or anything first and then went to Northport.
All we know is we can piece together through accessible cameras and data. So his movements, his driving patterns, his actions, only when 100% say what they are is from a camera.
Okay.
So we can say he went to Northport because the car was in Northport, where he stopped, where he went in between. That cannot be factual for us. We don't have a camera, which is an assumption, which is why I want your assumption, because you tell him, I don't.
If I fell asleep at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, at the hotel, what was that, Monday night? Just trying to think, like, could he have had time to stop somewhere, wherever he stashed her, and then took her to Northport? I can't find.
Has he cleaned your car since he came back from Northport? Has he gone to a car wash, detailed it, had somebody come out? Because you, through your, call it a fiction novel, you piece together what you think happened based on suspicious activity, and you ended with, you think he put her in your trunk and brought her to Northport.
Yeah.
I know I asked you to make assumptions, but now I want to know why. Why is that how he finished this? What is in your mind leading you to believe that is the ending of the story?
This 182 seems like a really busy strip, and I can't think of anywhere immediately, like, other than going deep into St. Cloud, like passing St. Cloud, like going into Holopaw or Harmony, that I can see some stashing a body somewhere around there. But Northport has so many wooded areas, and I feel like you would be familiar with both areas. I just don't know him to ever drive down 182 super far down, like into St. Cloud. But I've known him to drive around all around Northport. But see, I don't want to say anything like if you guys down to Northport to do a search and nothing's there. I'm just.
We're gonna go everywhere.
Searching woods right now, which is not.
Just want to be like, I know you guys are like looking at me for details. I'm like, I don't want to send you on a wild goose chase.
You know him better than us. You gotta really think.
body. But I would never do this. My mind would say to go to Lake Toho. There's a lot of woods there, there's a lot of gators. I don't want to think about that. No, I know, but I just don't want to think about getting hit by gators. I don't know where she is.
Like I told you, it's going to come to a point where we will. Lucia County Sheriff's Office just found somebody the other day that's missing for a long time. People get found. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not quick. I know these situations today. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll find her. What you need to think about is when we find her, is there an opportunity or a chance that we're going to prove that you did not assist us to find your ability in this investigation. If that is true, we need to think about the consequences of that. Consequences of hindering a murder investigation or a capital sexual matter investigation can be punishable up to probably the same charges, the same time in jail. I know you know that I don't believe what you're saying. I know you know that I think you prioritize Stephanie, that you prioritize jail. You see what I'm saying? If we come back and prove that you sat and should have misled us, that you didn't lead us in the right direction, that you assisted and acknowledged what you knew, you'll be warning from jail.
If I do anything, I swear. We haven't discussed this. I had no suspicion of anything. He did not tell me any more details of where he went that day other than those shops that I had mentioned. I'm giving you my truth.
On any of the days that he became called out his suspicious outings, 192 trips, Northport trips, everything else, did he change clothes? Did he appear disheveled, sweaty, dirty?
I don't believe he showered. He didn't bring that many changes of clothes with him, so I know he's repeated his outfit over and over. It's possible he could have come home all sweaty and disheveled after the supposed changing the tire thing, but I wasn't home to see that. But other than that, I didn't see him come home dirty or sweaty or anything like that.
Do anything he normally doesn't do within the house around you.
He was acting very normal, sitting on the computer here, chatting away with me, talking about resetting his phone, updating his phone.
car to change the tire?
I think he said there was a tire in the car.
You bring it inside, you bring it in the car.
Maybe everything's fine.
You ever go look at his car? Verify that he changed his tire. Never dawned on you to go double check. But by the time you would have got back from the tire, you were gone, right?
Yeah.
You told us.
Yeah.
And then she was during that time. It never dawned on you to be like, can't he really change his tire? Let me know.
We got home really late that evening, and I didn't even think about
This is part of a problem. You did so many things and you never questioned it.
it. I didn't suspect him.
How can we believe some of the stuff that you're telling us? We believe that you don't know.
I don't know how to say it. I guess I'm stupid and going back very trustworthy, but I didn't. I simply can't get the time to do anything like this. I didn't doubt.
What you do is a big deal. You describe it as not trustworthy. It's new. You describe instances we've done.
Oh, shh.
Lying to his family, yes, but lying to me.
You discussed that he wasn't that good of a person. It wasn't this man that you're not describing him in a positive light at all. So this trust, this caring, all this stuff makes no sense because you, regardless of the victimization, describe him as a good person. He's stealing from his parents,
But
right?
he never stole from me.
You guys have no money, but all he's doing is ordering things, right? He's buying himself things. It's not, you described him as a selfish thief. You called it a robbery that he robbed his parents. So you trust this dude who you describe as untrustworthy.
But I thought he was.
What happened to her? Where did you that? I can't fathom that. I can't wrap my head around it.
I think I only asked him if he took her to school. When I called him and told him to come to the office, I asked him if you dropped her off at school, right? Because she never made it. And he said, yeah. I was like, she never made it. Where did you drop her off?
You guys sat in your car Tuesday night when I was out there. I was out there at least 4 hours. Just you two in that car.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you guys did not have any conversations about this. There's no way. A reasonable person would have been questioning him. You were the last person with her. What the hell happened this morning? You never did that in that car.
I remember being on my phone. He was on my phone for a little bit. I know I was medicated, and I was just zoning out. I wasn't thinking anything of anything. I never asked. Just asking him that one time to me was if he took her to school, that was enough answer for me. I don't know. I just wanted to think. Not think the worst of it. I don't know. But I just didn't think he did anything. Now I know. But then I didn't. I'm still believing everything he was telling me.
robbery suspects who has the excuse of I was high on bars, I took Xanax, I was blacked out. Right? Every juvenile robbery suspect you interview, I was, in your words, medicated, in their words, high, incapacitated, drunk. It's an excuse to avoid admitting what happened. When you say you're medicated, I can't think of a medication that will numb you so bad to numb the fact that the investigation is occurring right in front of your face when you're missing. So being medicated is just an excuse to avoid answering why you didn't discuss with him what happened. It minimizes your guys' interaction by saying you were not fully coherent with it. The person I know who can sit in a car and watch a bunch of detectives and crime scene investigators and everybody else search her house, seize her house, and be so numb that somehow is not ringing bells, is not overcoming the power of this little medication. There's no way the human body will overcome that in a big situation. You didn't take enough medication to numb you of the reality of what was occurring. There's no way. Unless you're fully incapacitated, there's no way you were so numb that everything he described to you, everything I described to you was not in forefront of your mind. You weren't numb. Just like these robbery kids weren't blacked out, they weren't high enough to not remember the robbery, they still want to talk about it.
No, it wasn't clicking. It didn't click to me. Like, you guys telling me, like, wasn't dishonest, and this and that. I still believed the story he had told me, that while we were sitting in the car, I still fully believed everything he had told me. I didn't doubt him. I really thought you guys were going after the wrong guy. I'm like, they're wasting time. The real suspect is out there. She's being sex trafficked. That was my biggest fear, is that she was being sex trafficked. I didn't think that she would actually be dead.
But she thought enough to get a lawyer.
I really thought you guys were going after the wrong party.
At that point, from the jump, we've been trying to find her. That has been and will be our biggest priority.
Him getting arrested last year was an accident.
And I'm like, so happy that happened, because if not, this would have continued to keep happening.
Well, what if he killed her on Monday?
There's no, I've asked this before, but there's no, like, map you guys can show me of, like, or the highlighted route of where he was taking to see if I can recognize anything or suspect anything.
I can pull him out on my phone. Either as you described, go through it. Some house of cards.
House game rules.
On Vine Street, Kissimmee, and Oak Street. That house game rules, feel free to direct that well as you please. And realistically, Florida has a lot of wetlands, and you see that's green, may not necessarily be wooded as big people, but we're looking more for where you think based off of this route, not necessarily just like the green parts of that.
That is
Yeah, so they're showing her places that she thinks he may have hidden Maddie. Jen's like gone in this sort of, she's like in this, how can I explain that? I don't know if you've ever had that feeling where, do you know, like if you get really angry or really upset about something, well, maybe it's just me, and you really cry and you really get angry, or you really, a lot of emotions, whatever kind of emotions. Afterwards, you feel like this sort of, I don't know how to explain it. It's like everything's even too much effort, even to speak, because you've got all that out there, whatever it is, whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, whether you sort of come down, don't you? That's how I feel Jenn is at the moment. It's like she's like on autopilot, isn't she? Anyway, they're trying to sort of get an idea of where Madeline is. Because Jenn didn't know where Madeline was. I think the police have realised, that guy, he's tried grilling her, he's tried interrogating her, and she hasn't got anything to give up, I don't think. There's nothing for her to say, because she really does not know where she is, in my opinion. It's a very strange thing, isn't it? When the trial comes up, we'll find out hopefully what made him snap that night. So all those years that Stefan Stearns had been enjoying Madeline, having a great time, really, why would he then, decide to? This is the question, isn't it? Why would he decide to kill her? What made him so angry? I can't see that it was planned, because it was. Well, he hadn't been there for months, had he? Don't forget, he'd been away for ages. So unless he did plan to do it that night. Now, the police will have the text messages who knows what text messages went between Maddie and Stefan, if any, what is just, anyway, we don't know, and we won't find out until the trial. So it's nearly finished now, this video. You'll be glad to hear. It does go on a long time. I don't know if there's anything more of note in it. I think it's just her helping find, he's asking her, what places do you think Stefan might have known, where he might have gone. And the thing is, I think initially in their relationship, from what she's been saying in this video, they did used to go places, didn't they? But I think really both of them deteriorated during this relationship. You can see that Stefan looks about 20 years older than he actually is. She looks at least 10 years older than she actually is. They deteriorated somehow. They're like, it was a toxic relationship. They were bad for each other, definitely, because they didn't, there's no sort of, they didn't complement each other. They just went downhill together. And then, of course, he probably got fixated on Madeline. So we just listen to the end of it. There's probably about 10 minutes left. I might just fast forward it while she's looking at these, because there's not much, they're not saying much. Yeah, there's not much being said. Let's see.
Do you guys know, like, up until when on 182 you guys found him, seen him? Like, how far down?
The other options for you guys questions.
I don't think I have questions.
Okay. I don't want you to think I was purposely an asshole to you.
No, I know. We're doing your job.
Like I told you, like the sheriff's probably reached out. You've been in communication with numerous people here. Those are my opinions, and my opinions only. They don't reflect Sheriff Nina, Chief of PD, Kyle, any of the detectives who talk to you. All right. I personally don't know. All right. We will be here all weekend. We will be here all night.
Gosh, it'd be so great to be telepathic, wouldn't it? Because so the guy there has said to her, you know, I'm sorry I was an asshole to you, but blah blah blah. He's given his opinions. She said, "Oh, you're just doing your job," and then she sat there deep in thought. What is going through her head? Personally, I think what's going through her head is probably thinking of all the times that things that Stefan did, and I think it'll still be happening to her now. She'll probably remember something new here and there as time goes on. Times that Stefan, she thought he was doing something that actually wasn't. Oh, now she's questioning it. All the times that he was on his own with Madeline or whatever. I think she'll be going through all that in her head. But she's probably exhausted as well. And of course, she's medicated. So it's a bit of everything, I suppose. But you'd love to know what, you know, is because of course you do know, you know, some people are good liars. But to me, Jen, I don't know, I don't think she's clever enough to come up with all them lies. I think she's just, she looks just blasted, to be honest to me. I don't know if there is anything else here. They're leaving her to stew for a bit. What a horrible sort of story the whole thing is, isn't it? So, you know, she will rue the day she ever met Stefan Stearns. Because, you know, I think no matter how people might hate Jenn or think she was irresponsible or negligent, but the person who did this was Stefan. All the hate should lie with Stefan. And Jenn, you know, you don't have to think she's great. I'm not saying that, but I can't hate her. I just can't hate her because, in my eyes, I don't think she committed the crime. He committed the crime, and her crime was perhaps negligence or not being attentive mother enough. But she's got her punishment will be to live with that for the rest of her life. For me, what's the point in putting her in prison? Well, she can't put her in prison if she hasn't committed a crime. I think that is probably more or less it. Let's just see. Oh, hang on. No, they come back in.
That it takes a little, but because the same way we do with Stefan, they're going to fuck. Here's where I'm right now. Your car, obviously, we released you, the Nissan. They requires us to use some paperwork because we did log it into our system. So now that it's in our system, we got to release it properly to you, which is no big deal. It'll take a couple minutes. Because of the high profile. All right, I know you said we can download your phone, and I do appreciate your cooperation with that. But because the same way we do with Stefan, every other phone and digital device we seize, they're making us write a search warrant on it, which really doesn't affect you too much. The search warrant is a legal thing. It's not a youth thing. It's not a trust thing. But with that, it takes a little bit longer. All right, so I can release your car to you right now. We can go facilitate that downstairs. I cannot make you a promise that that phone will be downloaded by the time your car's ready. What I can promise you is at the moment it is downloaded, if you have left from here, I will bring it to you. Do you have the phone that you're staying with your sister still? Does anybody have your sister's phone number that we can make sure we can communicate with you on?
Yeah. my dad is downstairs, I think, waiting for me, so I have to give you my dad's number since he'll be
Whatever
with me.
phone numbers we can have, just to make sure that we are able to give you the phone back today. Well, I'm not sure about that. That way, if we are able to give you the phone back, we at least are able to contact you. We want to make sure you have the phone to contact us if something arises, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
What's his name?
My dad's gonna
So Dad's waiting for her downstairs. I'm glad someone's there with her. She's got a big extended family. This is another thing, isn't it? Why didn't Madeline tell someone? You know, they've got a big, massive family.
Are you gonna be going back to your condo? Are you gonna go to?
No, she won't be. Well, you won't be able to go back there, would you? Not to live. Having said that, if you've got nowhere else to live,
We'll walk you out this back part front. The car is in the back corner, so I'll walk with you. We'll go through the back, so we don't go through the front lobby. It was a press conference today, obviously. None of us got to see what was said. I assume it was just an update. But we will go through the back to go to the car. And that way we're not walking through the front lobby. We can wait out there. Don't know if there's still media present. I assume you're not in the state or moving to go walk past 32 news cameras. So we'll go out the back, get the car, and I'll show you how you can leave here. And you can call your dad from the back so you know where to go or where to meet you. And we'll just tell him, hey, she's going to be in the back parking lot. You can drive around. You guys can follow each other around wherever you choose to do that way. All right.
okay. So that's it. So we've watched all Jen's video interview. Oh, as I say, I've got so many photos. So gosh, I've got to troll through all these photos, pictures. There's so much evidence. I feel like I'm preparing the case. Hi, Joanne. So yeah, I want to make this clear about the pregnant thing. It's been said on another channel that we're not going to say what the name of the channel is because we don't talk about, but it's not been confirmed. It has not been confirmed officially. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, even though on the other channel they say that some relative of Jenn confirmed it, it's no proof, no proof. You know, it'd be just like me saying it. Me saying, oh, yeah, she definitely was pregnant because, you know, such and such said. Fish on this channel, we only deal with, look at that, I'm looking for my glasses. What did I do with them? Are they still on my head now? On this channel, we only deal with confirmed things. We don't deal with rumours. We don't deal with what other YouTube channels say when it's been confirmed. And it may be right. I'm not saying it's not correct. I'm not saying it is correct. I'm not saying it's not correct. I'm just saying it's not been confirmed officially. And until it's confirmed officially, as far as I'm concerned, it's not true. I found me. They're not glasses for, in fact, they're glasses for close work. You know, I got them. They were in Primani glasses. They were €3. So just in case I missed anybody coming in, I think it's Joanne, you're coming in, and unfortunately we're just finishing now. Well, I haven't come across the mushroom photos yet, Chumba, but I think they're supposed to be in there somewhere. Maybe not on what the link I've got. I don't know, because they seem to add to this link. It's all very confusing. So I'm just dreading it. That might be on a live showing photos, because I haven't got time to go through them all. And then these button mushroom will come up. But anyway, there you go. Just have to take it off pretty quick. Sorry, Jem, I don't understand that comment. Stefan killed Madeline before she died. You know, what do you mean? Sorry, do you understand what killed Madeline before she died? Anyway, hi Jem as well. Jem's just coming in as well. So, but I've got finished now. I've got some classes. I may be back later. I'm not sure. I won't be doing any Madeline Soto case now for a few days. You know, there's only so much you can take of this, to be honest. You know, it's so very depressing, isn't it? But what I do want to do is go through the photos of the house. That's what I've been waiting for ages. But it seems like I had the photos all the time, but I just didn't realise how to access them. And just to look at the house, it's very interesting how small that house is. It is actually quite small. You think of all that going on that nobody knew, not only Jenn, but the other two roommates, and then Stefan was filming the roommates under the bathroom in this. It's not a great big massive house, you know. It's very strange. Okay, so I'm off, and thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing some of your time today with me. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe, please, if you're not already subscribed. I'll see you really soon, as always, in the next video. And and thank you to those of you that sort of shared your experiences. You know, it's terrible what Madeline went through, but you know, Madeline's not the only one. You know, this is what's so sad, isn't it? How many other Madelines are out there right now as we speak? So I think this candle is going to be for them, not only for Madeline that we're talking about, but for all the other Madelines or Marks, because it happens to boys and girls who are out there, who this is happening to, who don't have anyone to turn to. You know, their groomer has successfully groomed not only them, but their family. They're being threatened maybe to tell that they shouldn't tell. You know, so we need to say prayer for them, because there will be, as I say, it's not just Madeline. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Bye.